I'll start then. Does that work for you? Okay. So what smells like fall? What is fall? Like when you think of fall, like what comes to your mind? Today I'm going to share with you something that I think embraces fall in its finest. Growing up, my mom has always baked. She's always canned things, made things, so I've been her little helper. I've learned from a young age how to make things, and when I was tall enough to reach the stove, then I started to make my own things. In ninth grade, I actually made my own bakery to raise funds for a camp I wanted to go to, and I sell the baked goods at my church, and I made a decent amount of money. So I feel like, and from feedback from my friends, that I'm pretty decent at making things, baking things. So this is a recipe that I have found. It came from my mom, came from our family, and I'm just going to share it with you guys today. I'm going to tell you what we're actually going to make, what we're going to need, and how to make it. So the big surprise is pumpkin pie. Yes, it's very exciting. I love it. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the ingredients that we need. Ta-da! So you're going to need some eggs, and you're going to need some whipping cream, and some salt, and evaporated milk, brown sugar. That is pumpkin puree, and then that's pumpkin spice. So, big question though, where do we get the pumpkin from? Do we get it from that nasty can? No, of course not, we make it. So how do we make it? Well, I'll tell you. We have to start with, of course, pumpkins. So for this recipe, because pumpkin pie is amazing, I doubled it. But if you're only gonna make one pie, you only need one pumpkin. I needed two though. So you start with the pumpkins. I washed it because, I mean, why not? It's a good idea. You cut off the tops like that. Then you cut it in half and you expose all the seeds. Then you're going to want to dig out all the seeds and all the guts. If you save the seeds, you can actually roast them and turn that into, I know, right? And turn it into a whole nother project. You can add seasonings to it. It's delicious. It's really exciting. Or if you don't care, I mean, I guess you could throw it away. It's kind of sad though. Then you cut it all into wedges, like over here, on a lined baking tray. And then you throw it into the oven at about 375 for an hour, and you let it roast. And it's done when you can put a fork in it, and it gets like these little brown edges, and it looks pretty delicious. I don't think I would actually stick it in my mouth because I'm pretty sure it'd be nasty, but you can try it if you wanted to. So then after that, you have to let it cool. This is kind of when it takes a while, is because I mean, I don't really want to burn my fingers. So I let the pumpkin pieces cool completely, and then you take off the skin, and then you put it into a food processor, and then you add a little bit of water, and then you blend it, and then it turns into pumpkin puree. See? It's not that hard. It's a good idea. So then once you have that, then another big thing you need for a pie, of course, is pie crust. And do we go buy one? No, of course not. We make one. So the ingredients you use is you need some water, some salt, some butter, and some flour. See? It's not hard. It's easy. So you start with the butter. You need 8 tablespoons. You need a cup of flour. You need a pinch of salt. I like my hands because it provides more control. You want to like squish the butter into fine pieces. The smaller the pieces, the flakier the crust. So that's why we use butter, because when it melts, it creates all the layers and it makes it delicious. Then you add the water to it like that. You add about 6 to 8 tablespoons of water. It varies, some needs more, some needs less, and you know it's perfect consistency when you can grab it with your hand and it will hold together but it won't fall apart, but it's not going to be too sticky. Then you wrap it in some plastic wrap and you put it in the fridge. And the reason why you want to put it back in the fridge is so the butter can reharden, and so that when it bakes, it doesn't just melt everywhere. It makes it taste better, I promise. And then after you let it like go back in the fridge for a little while, then you can put it into a pie tin. You can roll it out if you want to. I just squished it in there like that. So next, we have all the ingredients, all the things that we need. Let's look at the equipment. So then we, of course, need an oven. It's probably a really good idea. And then you want to set the oven rack to the middle. You need some pie tins, some measuring spoons, You need a bowl and a spoon. That's it. So simple. So then to make the pie, we start with the pumpkin spice, and the brown sugar. So 3/4 cup of brown sugar, about a tablespoon of pumpkin spice, and I did about a cup or 2 of pumpkin. It's just as strong as you want the pumpkin flavor. If you don't really like pumpkin, add less. If you want it like really bold, you add more. And then you stir it all together until it turns into this beautiful mix over here. Then you add in 1/2 cup of evaporated milk and 1/2 cup of whipping cream. And you add 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk, and then you stir it all together until it turns into this golden mixture, and that's literally the pie. So then you pour it into your pie tins with the pie crust, and then you bake it. So you want to start the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes, and then you drop it down to 350 for an hour, and you bake it till it doesn't jiggle anymore and it's just a solid custard. And that's what it looks like. It's pretty exciting. So hopefully, like, even if you don't like baking, hopefully you feel confident enough you could try this. It's pretty simple. We have plenty of downtime, so it doesn't take a whole day. You can actually still have time to study and do other things while things are cooling or baking. I feel like this is a really good way to start to embrace fall and do something fall-ish. And if you don't like it, maybe someone else likes pumpkin pie and you can give it to them as a gift.